Following program is intended for a mature listening audience. Graphic and explicit language may be heard at times. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily express those of this station or sponsors. Listeners are advised that neither this station nor its owners and agents shall be held liable for the content of this program, rebroadcast, redistributed or reused without express written permission by host or producer is not allowed.
This is the Debbie Perkins Radio Show. And here's your host, Debbie Perkins. Hello and welcome to the Debbie Perkins Show.
Alright, we will be waiting for her.
Tell us how you got involved with what you're doing and when you started out doing what you're doing. And give us all the background you can while I try to get a hold of Debbie. Please.
Alright, just a second. Ele perguntou como é que você entrou nisso, sabe, moção? Como é que foi o começo?
Começou quando eu era criança.
It all started when he was a child.
Sempre gostei de filme de terror.
He always loved horror films.
Principalmente Sexta-feira 13.
Mainly Friday the 13th.
E aí eu cresci com isso e fui desenvolvendo aos poucos.
He grew and his passion also.
About what age did he start doing, start out?
His work?
Yes, his work.
O trabalho, moção. Como é que começou o trabalho?
Debbie always asks.
Debbie, isso? Foi um hobby. É um hobby que acabou se tornando um trabalho.
It was a hobby that, after some time, transformed in his work. Many years before now, he used to make little figures with another kind of material, and from there always loving and watching horror films, Friday the 13th, The Burning, and others old movies that we found now and through his life.
Okay, I'm doing my very best to get a hold of Debbie, and I'm very unprepared for this, and this is her show. I just get her on and off the air. She always does the interviews. Very sorry for all this. Can you...
No problem. Da vida da sua história, sua vida.
Was he always interested in doing what he was doing, with the acting and all that before, or when did he first get interested in this? I'm trying to buy some time.
I will try to show some parts.
We can't show anything because we're audio only. We're on the radio. No one can see what we're doing. So
I will tell some parts of his life.
Oh, okay. Tell about
So when he was a child, he always was watching horror movies, as I already told, and it was kind of a parallel world where he got his mind into to explore and find new ways to him to express himself. He used to draw comic books. He draw a lot whenever he was at school too. We don't recommend it to kids. Keep studying. And in this meantime, one day he rediscovered capoeira. And after that, he kept his love with all that exists in the horror genre. And started his like a capoeira career. With it, he trained hard and a lot. He was always training, like 24/7, all the day, all the time, in all places, at school, making presentations, even at the church, breaking some barriers, cultural barriers and religious too. And while he was all focused on capoeira, he still kept always watching horror movies, always searching, always interested in searching for new movies. Like today there is a lot of movies coming out every year and so, but in the 17th, 18th, 19th, there were lots and lots of good and classic movies that I believe he draws his inspiration from them, like The Burning, that he is also working. High five to Brody if he is listening. There is also Fred. An interesting fact is that Fred came before Jason. First, it was all Fred. Then he got to know Jason, I believe in the third movie, né, moção? Foi o terceiro filme.
Foi.
Você começou, né? Then, as they were passing on the TV, he was watching and discovering Jason part 4, part 2, 1. And as he grew older, he was discovering what the true beauty of the horror movies. Like, it's not just the killing, the blood, the kill moments, that they are all good, but there is the making too. That it's what we work today. The making has infinite details to it and lack of details. And in this lack of details is where we work. Sabe, a gente trabalha na falta de detalhes. Where the people before us the people before us left as opportunities to the future generation. That it's funny that it's funny to think, and I'm sure Marcio think that too, that he is working with a character that he always loved, and he never thought that something like that would happen today. So, getting back to his story, he was training really hard with capoeira, and I believe 7 years ago, when he was studying, someone presented to him a material called clay, and from that he started working sculpting. His first work was the Predator. In Predator, it was, looking back right now, I believe that it was a challenge, not just because of the character, but mainly because
I'm here. Oh my gosh, I hear people.
Okay, finally, Debbie, you're back.
Oh
Thank
my God. I've never had this happen. I couldn't hear you. I'll show you guys. I really tried.
Just go on. He was telling us about Friday the 13th and all that. So just let him go on.
That was a great costume. I saw that. I saw that. I interviewed Jason Brooks, and he had it in the background, and wow.
Ela falou que tinha ele no plano de fundo, sabe? Do Jason, nossa. Yeah, it was
unbelievable, the work that was put into that. But I would like to ask I'd like to ask Marcio, am I pronouncing his name correctly?
Yes, Marcio.
I am. Okay, good. You know how many times I practiced just to make sure that I had it right? I just didn't want to make a mistake. But I'm sorry, guys. I was running behind. Now, with that costume, if you were talking about Friday the 13th, now that's an epic movie. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. We grew up on it. Did he grow up on this movie as well?
Ela perguntou se você cresceu assistindo Sexta-feira 13.
Cresci.
Yes, he did. From the...
What was his favorite scene in the first movie?
Qual é a sua cena preferida no primeiro filme, Monção?
O primeiro, a machadada.
The X in the head.
Did that inspire him when he was creating this character?
Ele mata a Marcy.
Oi?
Ele mata a Marcy.
Sorry, can you ask again?
When he was inspired to create the new character, was he going by some of the old characteristics from the very first movie, or was this something that was completely brand new?
Quando você estava fazendo o personagem do filme, né, do Vingança, era alguma coisa completamente nova ou você estava buscando inspiração nos filmes antigos?
Falo pra ela que foi um desenho do amigo Corey Kaufman que fez. O designer ele passou pra gente dar vida ao personagem.
It was a design made by Corey Kaufman, a friend that worked with us, and he gave it to us so we could bring it to life.
It's incredible, and it looks like it's going to come to life in a movie, which is really amazing. How does it feel for Marcio to have his work be seen by possibly billions of people?
Como é para você, Monção, ver o seu trabalho, saber que seu trabalho vai ser visto por bilhões de pessoas pelo mundo?
É um grande presente, porque eu nunca imaginei que o Jason ia me levar a tão longe assim.
It's an amazing gift, because he never imagined that Jason would take him so far.
That's great. Jason's a very nice guy, and working with him, he's so tall. How did he manage to do this creation? Because Jason is he's well over 6 feet. He's somewhere in between 6 to 7 feet tall. So his costume had to be much larger than the average costume for a guy that's an average size.
Yes, it was really a challenge, but for about his size, he passed every detail to us, every measure, and with costume, we've made the costume and all the pieces and exclusively the head.
You did a great job. I guess Jason said that somebody had in the shipping of it, Jason said that something was missing and there was nothing he could do. But sometimes people are just like that. You guys did a great job. I was going to ask you, when you're starting a project for the first time and you've got the idea, do you sketch it out first and on a piece of paper with pencil? Do you kind of make your design first and then go by that? Or do you kind of do it as you mold? As it come to your mind as you mold it?
Ela perguntou se você faz um desenho, um rascunho, e depois vai para a peça, ou você vai direto para a peça enquanto você vai moldando, você vai tendo a ideia.
Os dois. Faz o desenho e aí vai colocando os detalhes a mais.
Both of them. First, a sketch, a draw, then he works on the sculpture.
And he's done so many different types of sculptures, and they're beautiful. Even though they're scary, they have a beautiful essence about what he's done.
Elas são incríveis, mesmo elas sendo assustadoras.
It's true. It's very true.
We hear it a lot.
You do, and they look so real. They must absolutely terrify people's nightmares. But that's the point, isn't it?
Yes, como é que chama o cara mesmo que criou a Monção? O Jason?
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini was a man that surely passes many things on his life, and he brought everything to bring life to Jason.
Wow. Now, when you begin your projects, like the first one he ever created, what was the first one he ever created?
Qual foi o primeiro projeto que você criou, Monção?
O primeiro? O Jason, na parte 4, de papel machê.
It was the part 4 Jason, made out of paper, glue, and a lot of water.
Yes, because it was an underwater project, so some part of Jason had to be waterproof.
No, it was really the beginning. It's because of that it was made out of paper and glue.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
You would not know that. That's really beautiful. That's really
That
cool.
is a long way until we got here.
It really, and it's quite amazing. It's quite amazing. Now, when you're creating the very first mold, when you have to make a mask for a gentleman's face, let's say, and it's going to have to fit skin tight. So, when you're doing the head, do you need a mold of somebody, of their face, like you know how they used to do molds or death masks in the old days? Is that kind of the idea, or Marcio, are you making the mold to match kind of maybe your face, and then the man who gets it, gets to kind of fit it into his face?
Ela perguntou sobre quando você está fazendo uma escultura, você precisa de um rosto por baixo, você usa o seu rosto, ou...
Precisamos de um rosto por baixo. A gente usa um livecast.
Yes, we do need a face, even to get a better end result. And we've got some faces, some live casts, even from the United States, to give us a base, to give him a base where he can work.
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. Like caster molds, or you know what I mean, like how they used to do that in the old days, artistic molds.
Can you?
Yeah, what he does, what Marcio, what you're doing is pretty incredible artwork. Does it also stand out to the public not only as costumes but actual art? Because to me, that's art.
Você entendeu? Ela falou que seu trabalho não é só sobre fantasias, também é sobre arte. Para ela é arte de verdade.
Obrigado. Obrigado.
Obrigado is thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. No, because it's beautiful. And even though they're scary characters like zombies or, you know, dead fleshy humans or monstrous style type of characters, he's able to actually make them look so real. When he got started, did he take art classes or was this all learned by doing it?
Pergunta, moção. Você aprendeu tudo por você mesmo ou você fez algum tipo de aula?
Por mim mesmo.
By himself.
Wow.
Oh. Yes.
It's like a genius with a carving knife.
Yes, since he was just a little child. Since from the beginning.
That's awesome.
With dinosaurs made out of clay. The clay that you get near the river. He was always going there to play, getting all the clay that he could and building, crafting little dinosaurs.
That's awesome. Now, where did you grow up?
Aonde você cresceu, moção?
Onde eu cresci? Aqui. O nome da cidade? Seria isso?
Well, he grew up in Pirajuí, São Paulo.
Brazil.
Here at Brazil. Was that the question?
Yes, that's a great answer. Beautiful, beautiful. And is he still in Brazil now, working?
Yes, still in Brazil.
Where would he like to be? Where would he like to go? If he could travel anywhere to do his work, where would he like to go?
Se você pudesse viajar para qualquer lugar do mundo para trabalhar, aonde você gostaria de ir, moção?
Nos Estados Unidos.
That's an easy question. The United States.
He does a lot of work here. He should enter contests. They do so many contests. He'd be such a winner, hands down. It's pretty incredible. He's not only doing monsters, but let me see. Oh, wait a minute. Let's take a really quick break. Let's come back and we'll talk a lot more about monsters and other things that he's done.
Sure. Pat Benatar. I'm a musician and a mom, so you probably won't be surprised to hear that I think it's important for kids to get a chance to learn music in school. Why music? Well, music education provides students with the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in school and in life. Learning to sing or play an instrument helps a child develop creativity, critical thinking, math, literacy, and teamwork skills. Schools that have strong music programs report higher graduation rates than those that don't. Learning music is even associated with higher education and income levels later in life. For today's students to succeed tomorrow, they need a comprehensive education that includes music taught by exemplary music educators. Make sure your kids have the opportunity to experience the benefits of learning music. Support your local school music programs.
A PSA brought to you by the National Association for Music Education. March is music in our schools.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is Debbie Perkins with the Hollywood Red Carpet Radio Show, and I'm here with Marcio Charllie. And now, what does the CDO stand for, guys?
O que o CDO significa?
CDO é cordão de ouro.
It is Cordão de Ouro. It's a capoeira group.
Okay. All right. Well, I was just wondering because that's on the Facebook, and for anybody who is looking him up, Marcio Charllie CDO is the page. Definitely go check it out. You want to look at his videos. Now, let me talk to you about your childhood because I think that you were quite a child. Did your mother ever get worried about you because you really do a lot of flips, and that's not something you learn overnight?
Ela perguntou se a sua mãe se preocupava com você por conta das coisas que você fazia.
Dos mortais? Minha mãe se preocupa até hoje.
Till this day, she is always worried from his job and training.
Até hoje.
Now, did he self-teach him that? Because that is a skill amongst himself. One of his videos, he does flip after flip, and he literally looks like balls spinning in the air. And it doesn't even look like he's touching the ground, but it looks like he just keeps moving. I have no idea how he does that. Like, how does he do that so graceful?
Yeah, he's been training. He's been doing capoeira 25 years of his life.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, Marcio, have you thought about doing this for all your life in movies, maybe? As a stunt?
Você já pensou em fazer isso como dublê?
No.
He never thought about it.
Oh, think about it, because I've never seen anybody so graceful. Spinning like that. It's
Fala pra ele que aqui no Brasil não se tem isso, não existe. Esse dublê.
Here at Brazil, there isn't too much, or better, there isn't stunt like a work, like a career.
Oh, well then he has to come to America and get himself in some of these big movies. Then he could really let that fly, because to me that should be an Olympic sport.
Deveria ser isso. Você ouviu?
Yeah.
I mean, agree. Because it's talent. And how many people do you know can do back flips, front flips, just amazing, odd, body contorted? Because he really is contorting his body in some of those moves. Am I wrong?
No, you are absolutely right. It is not something common to see every day, even through the year. Now, there was a movie. It all began with... As mulheres estão perguntando se você é solteiro. No, he's married with three children.
I've seen pictures, and the children also sort of watch what he does and kind of learns. They're pretty good.
Yes, they both training. It wasn't something intentional. It was their interest to start to train capoeira.
Oh wow, that's pretty incredible, and that's amazing that the children have kind of followed in what their dad does. The weightlifting, I've never seen so much weight on a bar, and I don't know how he does that. Now, is he doing deadlifting or is he doing powerlifting?
He trains CrossFit, but we always like to lift big and heavy weights as much as possible.
I've never seen. I don't know how much weight has he lifted? What's his record and what's his goal?
Fala pra ela que de deadlift é 250 quilos.
Deixa eu só ver aqui. Let me get the pound equivalent.
Okay.
Falou?
Peraí que eu tô procurando. É libras, né?
É libras.
It is 551 pounds in the deadlift.
200 quilos de agachamento.
And 440 in the back squat.
Wow. What is his goal? What would he like to? What's the weight that he should get to that would make him happy? What's like the?
Para que eu uso o treinamento de peso para poder balancear o meu condicionamento para capoeira.
He doesn't have a goal weight. He uses the weight training to keep the balance with his capoeira training. So a thing boosts the other. It's something that he likes to use for conditioning.
Okay, I get that. And I think it all kind of works out for him because of the way everything is kind of well balanced. And you really do, because you can pass out by holding up too much weight. I've watched gentlemen that lift weights and they buckle their knees and all of a sudden they're on the floor passed out. So you have to be safe doing that kind of work, weightlifting.
Yes, with weightlifting, CrossFit, he was able to get better at capoeira because capoeira has been in his life for the past 25, maybe going to 26 years. So the first time he was in love with it was when he watched the movie Only the Strong. And from that, he wanted to learn everything that he could about it. So all the kicks, all the jumps, all the music portion, even a lot of movements that he makes today, that he does, it's from magazines. So there was a magazine at the store here at Pirajuí, and he saw, and then he would start trying to get the movement. But it was really, really, really a lot more hard than it is today. Today there are videos, tutorials, you can go to YouTube to watch someone doing it. Before 20 years before, there wasn't so easily available to see someone doing a movement or another. So he had to train really, really hard and very often, and all the opportunities he would record tape from some movie that there was some jump, some kick that he would like to do.
I didn't know if you heard that. I had to please drive by the house. I'm sorry about that, you guys. But I love this. He's able to do, Marcio, I'm love that you're able to do these really incredible things. I hope it does find places in your life that will help you to be, to do it as, well, you probably enjoy it as a hobby, but to be able to make money from what you love is always a wonderful.
Before he started working on making monsters, he already worked with capoeira. There was a time here at Pirajuí and other cities around here in Brazil too, that you could do a living teaching capoeira. There was a big capoeira wave around the 2000, before, some years before and some after 2000. And he worked as a capoeira teacher, and he does it till this day. But today he can earn a living through his monsters and all the sculptures that he does, and the masks, the costumes, and so forth.
So much fun, though. He must love making them. Do you really enjoy making each? And then when you're done, do you have a drink with your monster? It's kind of like, does it come to life for you? Do the monsters come to life while you're creating them? And it's like, for every line, there's a feeling of, this is how it needs to be. You know, creating something that it's kind of like giving you life back. It's I don't want to say, kind of like you're sculpting a model, and it's coming to life every single stroke that you make, every single paint, you know, every single paint that you add to it. And there's so much to it. How many different layers of things that he has to do, from the first thing that he does to the last thing before he's finished his project? How many things does it take? You know, different things, like from the molding to the painting to the finished project.
Daqui até ela se tornar uma máscara, sabe? Tipo, do processo mesmo.
A escultura.
The sculpture.
Depois o molde.
The mold.
Tirar a peça em látex ou silicone.
Taking out the piece in latex or silicone.
Aí vai para pintura.
Then it goes to painting.
Aí depois a gente faz a finalização.
Then we make the finishing details.
E aí a peça.
Then it is ready to be shipped.
That's amazing.
Just a little detail, the sculpture, sometimes it takes from a month, 2 months, depending on if it's a commission or something that we are creating ourselves. But it can also take from a year, because some characters lack a good amount of references. So he has to search a lot in the web for them. And then he puts all the details that he can catch with his eyes on the sculpture. And if and when he's pleased, quando você está satisfeito, he finishes the piece and get it in the mold.
Eu sou muito perfeccionista.
He is very much a perfectionist person. So much is never too much for him.
Well, for everybody who's listening, we're actually talking to I'm sorry. Now I lost my own train of thought. Luis Carlos, right?
Yes.
Excellent. And the reason I wanted to re-mention your name, because I feel like, you know, you are helping us right now, and I appreciate that. And I know, Marcio, well, you both, Marcio Charllie. You know what it is? I'm struggling with his first name. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I apologize, but it's great though, because I'll never forget the work that he's done. Not just Friday the 13th, although that's epic. Good for him. I think, Marcio, you did a great job with that costume. That costume is one of a kind. It will be on little dolls, all over the world. Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees dolls will be everywhere. And that costume that he designed will be on every one of them. You know it. That's how it all works.
Fantasia vai muito além, foi muito além.
Obrigado.
He said thank you.
It would be neat if they did, because a lot of times these horror movies, they create little small, kind of like, they're like Barbie dolls, but they're collector items. And wouldn't that be interesting? There, Jason Voorhees comes out and it's got his costume on it that he created. That's pretty amazing.
Ele falou que geralmente nos filmes de horror só aparecem bonecos, né? E ela falou que é incrível que essa fantasia tenha...
Real.
Isso mesmo.
It'd be cool. No, because people keep them for collectors. Does that make sense? People collect everything. You name it. They do. People collect rocks. But, so anyways, Louis, now, how did you guys get connected? Because you also were in the same or similar fields.
Can you ask again?
Okay. What you are connected with Marcio.
Ah, how I got to know him?
Yeah. Yes.
Como é que eu te conheci?
Talvez só aluno meu de capoeira.
I was and I am a capoeira student. He is my teacher.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there is another long story on that.
That's great. That's great. Maybe we'll talk about that on a different day with you.
No problem, no problem.
Now ask Marcio, if you could make any character in the world, would you like to make an original, or would you like to make something that a monster that you know about? And if you know about a monster that you'd like to make or revise a monster, who would it be and why?
Qual que seria e por quê? That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I know, I loaded it up.
Se eu fosse construir,
você fizesse, queria fazer um original ou?
Eu gostaria de fazer um original do Jason. E eu gostaria de reviver o Predador original. Fazer
he would like to make an original Jason.
Okay.
Like a version of his own mind, and he would like to make the original Predator from Schwarzenegger film.
I saw the mold that he has on his page. Now, did he create that one? Because that is almost perfect.
Yes, he made Predator, the Predator mask.
It's pretty amazing. I think if they brought Predator back, I don't see why Marcos couldn't create that monster, because it really is well done.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Well, he knows how good his work is, doesn't he? I mean, it's taken him many years.
Você sabe quão bom seu trabalho é. No, he doesn't think that. No, this is not his thought about his skill and work, about the work and even capoeira. It is never enough. It's never good to him. Like you said earlier that whenever he finishes a piece, he looks to it, how good it was, and etc. But once he finishes a piece, a sculpture, he takes out the mold, then in the exact moment, he thinks what he can do best at the next time. Always improving, always improving.
Now, what about animatronics? Technical, robotic types of monsters. You know, maybe he creates a monster that goes on like I don't know if it's called a robot or it's an animatronic. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Now, has he ever thought of doing that type of work too? Because he's still creating the monsters. It's just would have like instead of fitting human, instead of fitting a human, it would fit like a robot or animatronic.
Well, he never thought about it, but he would surely love to do it.
I think he could. I think it would be Marcio. I think you absolutely could do something like that, because it's just groundbreaking, you know. And it sounds like he's doing a lot of groundbreaking work. Who
Seria
inspired him also
muito
that
trabalho
the monster creator? Anybody in the world he is inspired by that has created monsters like him?
Oh, can you? It was a question.
Yeah. Does he have anybody that he's been inspired by that creates monsters just like he does?
From nowadays or the old days too?
Anyway, whoever he feels like is an artist that inspired him, that does that same exact
Vai, sabe?
type.
Tom Savini,
Tom Savini, Stan Winston,
e vários outros.
and many others.
Esses são os principais.
But these are the main ones.
Yeah. Now, has he ever heard of Cleve Hall?
Você já ouviu falar do Cleve Hall?
He was called Monster Man on Sci-Fi Channel.
Ele era o Homem Monstro no Sci-Fi Channel. It is Cleve Hall?
Yeah, he passed away, but he was doing that same type of work. I interviewed him some years ago, and I remembered how hard that work was by talking to him. So talking to you folks, I'm learning that there's so many different techniques to what you do.
Ela falou que ela tem dado uma olhada no trabalho que a gente faz, né? E viu que nesse tipo de trabalho tem várias técnicas para você poder fazer ele, sabe?
Sim.
E ela tava, acho que, acompanhando esse cara, morreu recentemente.
Sim.
Yes, about this name we didn't know. Like, we already searched about Ricky
Yeah.
and others from, I believe they are more about horror movies or special effects.
Yes, a little bit of all of that, yeah. But
And there are many different techniques to get this kind of job done. Even the painting, sculpting, the mold making. There are many.
What would Marcio like to be doing in the next 5 years?
O que você gostaria de estar fazendo nos próximos 5 anos?
Muitos monstros.
Many more monsters.
Continuar.
Keep improving at the work.
Sempre melhorando o trabalho.
Always improving work.
Mario's for hire for monsters.
Yes. Ela falou, então você curte mais monstros mesmo, né?
Yeah.
Yes, he has a special kind of love for monsters.
It sounds like it. And Marcio, you put a lot of hard work in your monsters. I always wonder where your mind is at when you're creating, as you're making your monster. How do you know when you're finished? Because you know how everybody's their own worst critic. So how does he know when he's finished a monster? Because
Se finalizou.
you can keep touching up. You just want to walk away.
Meu íntimo mostra.
It is an inner feeling, an inner sentiment that he feels that he has finished the work.
Does he feel a special connection with each monster in a different way? Does each monster kind of have its own name, or does he name them?
Cada monstro que você faz uma conexão diferente, por eles terem nomes diferentes.
Sim.
Yes, he does.
So they basically become his children too.
Elas basicamente se tornam suas crianças.
Como fosse filhos.
Yes, like a born child.
I think it's great. I think it's so great. Now, do you have a website people can access your information from too? Where they can look at your work? Or would they mostly go to Facebook to look up the monsters and check out the designs and some of the work that he does?
Currently, we don't have a website. We have Instagram and Facebook. If someone wants to reach out for us, just send a message, comment in a post, and we will be getting in contact.
That's great. That is really great. I want to thank you, Louis. You were fantastic tonight. Excellent English. I think my words were worse than you. You did a great job. Marcio, thank you so much for coming on. I would love to have you back on.
Espero ter você novamente.
And possibly do this again and just learn a little bit more about your work and what you want the world to know about you.
Saber mais sobre você e sobre o seu trabalho.
Quando ela quiser.
Whenever you want, just reach out for us and we will be available.
That would be awesome, you guys. I really appreciate everything you're doing. You're two of the coolest guys to put monsters on the earth. You've got to be some special kind of guys.
Especial, sabe? Thank you.
I can't wait to watch you challenged by the different character monsters that you will be creating as the years go by. And I wish you guys so much luck.
Yes,
and I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you about this opportunity. It was an easy one for us.
Well, this was awesome. I want to thank everybody for listening this evening, and join us not next week because we're going on a summer break, but you'll catch us the week after. And I want to thank you all for listening. Have a great night, and we'll see you not next week, but the week after. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you guys so much.